Hi everybody, welcome to our live. Usually I play music, I know, but today I wanted to talk about some things because I've been getting quite a few messages from my friends and colleagues. They say they feel really down about this whole crisis, and some don't even feel like picking up their instruments, which is too bad because they're amazing performers. So I just wanted to sort of share my perspective on this with you guys, and hopefully you will have something to take away from this and it will help you in your sort of coping mechanisms with, through the whole quarantine situation in the world. But first of all, I just wanted to say, don't panic, right? So if you're panicking, find ways to ground yourself, calm down, do some exercise, do some kind of activity that helps you come to your senses that you normally do, right? And try not to think about it as a global crisis, because if we do think that way all the time, it's very draining on our mentality, on our psyche, on our health and well-being. So you can't be thinking about the whole world if you are not okay, right? So if you feel like the stress of the situation is getting to you, you have to take care of yourself first. And what better time to do it than now that we have a quarantine and we're actually supposed to stay home and take care of ourselves, right? That's the one thing we have to do. Hi David, how you doing? Thanks for tuning in. So I'm just going over a few coping mechanisms that we could use, and most importantly the perspective shift that you could sort of explore in order to sort of cope with the situation right now, right? Well, with me, it's really easy. I play music. So for me, that's my go-to in every case. If I feel stressed, I play my spirit drum. If I feel excited, like I do right now because we have a big project coming out, I play my music, I do my recordings, I'm happy to work, okay? So for me, that is sort of like my sanity in my life. I love to do my work. I love to make music for you guys. But most importantly, I love to do it for me. See, being an artist, we often get trapped in the thought process that you have to do something for everybody else. But it's not quite right. Like, yes, I love to please, I love to entertain, I love to see people go like wild and love what I do. That's amazing. But I think, especially in the case where you don't feel like practicing because you're too stressed out, think about why you started playing music to begin with. Why did you start it? What was your motivation? And I bet you that if you go back to like when you were a kid and you're like, oh, I love the violin, or I love my piano, or whatever. So you were doing that for you, right? You weren't trying to rescue anybody. You weren't trying to please anybody, your parents or your audiences or your clients or your students. You were just doing that because it made you happy, right? Maybe it's not music for you, maybe it's something else. I'm talking about music because I'm a musician, so for me that's my go-to, and it was quite clear in my life early on. Hey Winston, how you doing? Thanks for tuning in. So basically, that's a sweet message. Thank you, Esteban. So you guys be safe too, be well. So I just wanted to share a few of those ideas with you guys, and hopefully they will help you gain some balance and sanity in this uncertain time. And again, I think everything just comes from a perspective, right? So what we want to do is, what I want to do today is remind you that whatever's happening in the world is going to keep happening. Like, you don't have control of that, right? So there's always some kind of pandemic. There's always some kind of crisis. There's always some kind of deaths, and there are horrible things, I understand, but you cannot be thinking in those terms all the time, right? Because the truth is, whatever happens, it doesn't change who you are, right? This virus or this isolation period, it does not change the person you are. You are still you. And what better time to actually tap into you and find what matters truly to you than right now, when we're required to stay home, right? So for me, the whole concept of movement and change, that nothing ever stands still in our lives, it's actually very relieving, I think, because that means that whatever you're going through right now, it's gonna end soon, right? It's gonna change soon. It's gonna shape. It's not gonna stay the same. Thanks for the likes, guys. So nothing's ever gonna stay the same. And I mean, if you're an artist in any media, if you're maybe a dancer or a painter or musician like me, then you understand that movement, vibration, constant motion is the key to life. Like, we never stand still, right? You think that your body is solid, but it's not. Every single atom in it is moving at the speed of like 1,000 rotations per second around its own axis. Can you imagine that? That nothing ever stands still, that every single little part of you is moving and vibrating and constantly in motion. If it wasn't, we would die, right? That's just the basics of it. The foundation of life is movement. Movement, time passing through, time unraveling, time, going by. If we didn't have those things, we would not exist. It's just impossible. Those are the universal principles of anything existing, right? And to share some of my sort of perspective on things and my story, I wanted to introduce to you, if you haven't yet read it, I know some of you have. So this is my book. I wrote this when I was going through what you would call my quarter life crisis in 2012. Well, I wrote it a bit sooner than that, but we published, of course, within that year. So yeah, it's self-published. I'm not with any major publisher. I just, I produced it myself, but I'm really happy with the way it came out. And I feel like this could give you a little bit sort of perspective on things like from my story. Because really, I think the core principle, the core purpose of any artist, any creator, is to tell our stories so that you guys can also find something familiar in them, or maybe something inspiring, or maybe just something interesting that kind of changes your mind a little and you go like, wow, I never thought of it that way. To me, if I've done that for even one person, then it's already a success, right? So this is called My Key to Immortality. You can find it by just Googling it. You can get it on Amazon. You can get it on any of the online platforms, whatever you like. You can even order a hard copy from my publisher. So there's a link in this caption. It takes you to my website. So verabormenko.com/book. Or you can just find me by the title, My Key to Immortality, Vera Bormenko. Check it out with the Balboa Press. I think that's the cheapest way to get it because they do not, that's the original. Some of the resellers charge more for it. The hard copy is like $16, sort of like that. Something like that. They are published in US, so I think for Canadian dollars it'll be like $20. Yeah, it's like $20 per copy. It's even cheaper than my CD. So you can get your e-copy, and that one is like $4. It's not a lot, right? $4 US would be like 6 Canadian. It's really cheap. So it's like the price of a fancy coffee. So you guys, it's not that I want you to buy my book. I understand everybody's in big trouble financially, but I want you to read it, right? Maybe just read the intro, see if you like it. The intro is free, the preview pages are free. So have a read and see if maybe you would be able to relate to my story. To tell you the truth, since I wrote it, I think my English got a little better. Like, it was pretty good already because I was doing like my master's degree and everything in music. But I feel like some of these things I'm saying, I would have probably used different words if I were to rewrite it now. But I don't want to rewrite it. I want it to be genuine, and I really like the cover. Look at that. It's the key. It's the key in the sun. So this book, it's mostly autobiographic, so it's kind of my story, but it's also a kind of circling around this whole method, idea, ideology, and practice that my family have discovered from Kazakhstan. I am myself Ukrainian, so I'm from Kiev, from Ukraine. Thank you. Hi, Hari. So, but this practice came from Kazakhstan, which is very close to kind of like Tibetan Buddhism, but it's not quite so. This is not a religious practice. It's more to do with applying the different elements in our lives that we have and channeling them into our well-being, cleansing your mind of negativity, cleansing your body of negativity. So you could say it's sort of like a health method to cleansing your body, channeling the positivity, and tapping into the energy of universal love. So if that makes sense to you, I hope you enjoy that. Hi, Oksana, how you doing? So yeah, I just wanted to bring that out because I felt like I've been hiding it for a long time, and sometimes I just forget I did that. So I hope that helps you guys. I hope it gives you a little bit of a perspective. The key elements in this book is really just to tell you that everything divine is already within you, because you as a human being are part of the divine creation, and the source is also of that energy. So you have the power. You have the power to shape and change your life as much as you have the power to shape and change your mind and your body, and what the things you're feeling and how you handle them is basically what shapes your future. So I feel like in this time that most people are panicking right now. I know it's difficult. We're all worried about our financial futures. We're all worried about the people that got affected by this. We're worried about people who got sick too. We're worried about the people we had to let go of our companies because many are being let down and fired, and just because it's financially difficult, and that's okay. Just know that you're not alone in doing this, that everybody around the world is doing that right now, just because we have to come up with the ways to sort of minimize our losses and try to come out of this and survive. And many private businesses are closing because of this too. And those bosses that are actually smarter, those that are quicker, like my boss was really quick at shifting us online. So we're teaching all the lessons online right now, and I'm glad about that. It's not ideal, I know, especially for people who are there to do in-person lessons, but it's a solution, and we are actually benefiting from this. We're remembering what we did. We're not forgetting to practice. You're still seeing your teacher. So that's just an example. One of the alternatives you can do. Some of the companies that are closing because they can't afford to pay rent anymore. That's sad. Others are just diminishing their staff members, and they have to fire some people temporarily, let go. So I understand the situation. I know it's hard, I know, but see, if you are in charge of a business, or you're in charge of people during this time of crisis, or you're just worried about your family, just know that what makes you a good leader is when you have to make those decisions and you do it, right? Instead of panicking and going like, oh, I can't fire anybody because I'm gonna feel bad about that. No, right? So you do have to take the action, and you do have to, make the best for everybody. As I was telling my friend earlier, the thing is, if you do have to fire some people for now, I know it's upsetting, and I know that you love people you work with and everybody else, but think about it this way. It's better to minimize your losses by just letting go a few people, as opposed to just having everybody stay, and then the business will crash, and then nobody will have a future, right, at the company. So think about that. It's not like nobody's died. They're just letting them go for a while, right? So think of these things that you're doing right now that are difficult to do as opportunities to create something new, and and make sure that everybody survives this and comes out of this crisis, as opposed to just being defeated and thinking like, oh, I can't do anything about it, I'm just gonna be like right? So I recently did an interview for the Unrated magazine. It's a written interview, so it will be published soon, and I'll share it with you guys. One of the questions they asked me to, it's by Dan, I forget his last name, but it's Dan. So the Unrated magazine, I'll be sharing that soon too. So basically, one of the questions was, how do you think this crisis is going to affect us artists? And I said, well, listen, I know it's going to affect us just like anyone else. We're going to lose a lot of income. We're going to lose a lot of opportunities. But the more important thing is how you look at it, how you cope with it. So if you see this stage in our lives as, big trouble, and you're defeated and you can't do anything about it, so then you're gonna lose big time. You're not just going to lose your business, you're going to lose your sanity too. So, but if you see this as an opportunity, even one of the smallest things in it, like maybe learn a new technology, maybe strategize for your plan of recovery when we're back to normal, maybe just even learn a new skill, right? Learn to play an instrument. Why not? Learn to take care of you, right? Without having others to take care of for a few weeks while we are here, right? So anything new, just find something that will sort of allow you to see this as an opportunity, as opposed to, a way to be defeated and just give up and cry in your bed. So what I said was that if you view this as, a trouble that got you defeated, you will miss out big time. But if you view this time in our lives as an opportunity to refocus, reorganize, restructure yourself, reevaluate your priorities, because that's important too. And then you will come out stronger. You will come out of this and you will survive. Your business will survive. Your mentality will be stronger too. Your personality will also be stronger, because then you will actually have moved on to the next level. And just know, guys, that nothing in our lives ever stands still. So I understand why many people are stressing out, because we have built lives for ourselves to a certain level of comfort, and we got used to it, to this sort of pace of things. I'm like that too. I like to structure my day full out, and I just do things on autopilot then. But know that there comes a time where you will be surprised by something unexpected. It's always like that. If you are any type of artist or entrepreneur, or anybody who is in kind of the business of knowing that everything comes with a risk, then I think you'll be fine, because you're already used to the idea that nothing is forever, nothing is steady. There's no such thing as steady in our lives. We just have this perspective on things that, like, okay, if I have a job like 5 days a week, then it's steady. But the truth is, you never know. Things like that could happen. And crisis could happen. The company may go out of business. You never know, right? So we just have to be prepared for change. And that's the one thing that is guaranteed, is the change. So if you sort of embrace that idea that change is a good thing as opposed to bad thing, I think you'll be fine, right? And besides, look at this. We have all this technology today. You're never alone. We're all connected, right? I've honestly, ever since my quarantine stage started, I have not had a free second. I've been running around my house, creating projects, connecting with people, scheduling podcast interviews, and it's only more of them because I know that right now they're in a place where they can't do anything else. So now it's the best time to actually do that. And I'm excited to announce that soon we'll come out with a very cool project for you guys. Me and 8 other artists around the world, amazing violinists, amazing string players all together. We have one harpist. So we have come together to create something very special for you. And I think that, and I hope that that video is going to not only touch you, but also give you a little perspective on life, to see beyond the problem and to see into the future, that you can actually get through this. And we are not alone. We're all in this together, right? We can always connect. We can always write to each other. And it's never as bad as you think it is. So I hope that it allows you to see the beauty in every moment, even during times like these. Anyway, I hope you guys are staying well, being safe, practicing all the regulations and rules of safety for this virus, washing your hands. And if we just do that, then there's no point to stress out. Everything else is gonna be fine. As soon as we get over the stage and pass through it, we'll be okay, right? But most important is for you right now to take care of you and your immediate loved ones. So just you, right? If you're not feeling well, if you're not feeling okay, if you're bothered by stress or any other, mental state that you're in right now, then remember to take a step back, because you can't help anyone in the world until you are well. So you have to take care of you first, all right? So go ahead and do that. Find something fun that you like to do. Connect with your family on another level, and there you go. Hope you guys have an amazing week. And if you have any questions about my book, I'll be happy to answer. I think the easiest way right now is to get it online, right? So go to my website, you can click the link in there. There's also a little story for adults. It's an adult story because it has some elements that are only for adults. So there's a story you can download when you subscribe with my mailing list for this on my website. So if you go to viraburmeka.com/book, book means actual book, not just to book me for something. So viraburmeka.com/book. This book, My Key to Immortality, and you can get the book, or you can sign up with my mailing list, and in the first 5 emails you will get a short story that I wrote in 2014, which is kind of like a smooth introduction into my autobiographic story here. So yeah, and it's a really nice story. It's kind of like you know, my adventure in LA and things that I've learned in just 4 days that have really changed my life. So I hope you guys enjoy that. And you know, you can always message me if you have any questions. I hope that this video has helped you maybe a little bit just to change your perspective, or you know, maybe it confirmed what you were already doing, like yes, I totally get it. So hey Dylan, how you doing? So thank you guys, have an amazing week. I'll see you live in our Sunday live covers. I'm gonna prepare something awesome and I will tell you more about this amazing project that we are working on. Okay guys, have a good week.